This is an interesting article from Zero Hedge. Basic income coming to Ontario, Canada as an experiment. The basic income experiment. In other words, we're just going to give money to people every month to cover basic needs. And this is interesting because, for one thing, man, if I had a dollar, matter of fact, forget a dollar, if I had a silver coin for every time I mentioned the Roman Empire. But the Roman Empire, people had free housing, and they didn't have very many expenses. Government paid for like all of it, built the houses, they stayed in them, etc. So this is, I mean, if you're giving someone a basic income, here's some money every month. Oh, well, that can go to my groceries, that can go to my house, electric bill, whatever, right? I didn't read this in full yet. I figured I'd just read it right now. We could read it together and see what the actual meat and potatoes of this thing is. But they say, earlier today we explained why so-called helicopter money can't save the world when zero interest rate, negative interest rate, and QE have all failed to revive global demand and boost inflation. The reason? QE is helicopter money. For those of you that don't know what QE is, by chance, quantitative easing. The reason QE is helicopter money, or the reason QE is helicopter money, that is, we've been doing this for 8 years and it hasn't worked yet. Some readers were reluctant to buy this rationale, but the fact is, just because the bank intermediary failed to do its part for Main Street doesn't thereby mean this entire experiment isn't still a farce. Think about the mechanics of it. Number one, the government prints a liability, which is a bond. Number two, that liability is sold to a primary dealer. And then number three, the central bank buys that government liability with yet another liability, dollars, that the government also prints. That's a scam. It's deficit financing with one very tenuous degree of separation. The fact that the middlemen, the banks, didn't pass along the benefits to you doesn't make the mechanics of it any less ridiculous. But if that's helicopter money version 1, Main Street thinks it didn't work out so well. Banks recovered, Jamie Dimon and Lloyd Blankfein became billionaires, financial assets soared, and everyday people get Gene Wildered. Interesting. I'm not sure what that reference means. I know who Gene Wilder is. Willy Wonka. Well, if helicopter money version 3 entails flying around and raining actual banknotes onto the hapless masses, then we suppose we should try at least version 2 first. And version 2 is what many have called a basic income. The idea is to send everyone a monthly check that would either supplement or replace altogether complex systems of state benefits, thereby making households better off and saving the government money in the process. As the Independent notes, Ontario is set to become the latest locale to float the idea. Ontario has announced it could soon be sending a monthly check to its residents as it plans to launch an experiment testing the basic income concept. Or did they say, listen, we just sold the very last ounce of gold this country has in Canada, and we've just realized China, Russia, India, BRICS nations, all of them are buying precious metals en masse, so we're selling and they're buying with two hands. Uh-oh, I think we made a mistake. The people are going to slaughter us. What do? Let's give them free money. Prime Minister, His Majesty. That's a brilliant idea. And here are some excerpts from Ontario's budget statement. The pilot project will test a growing view at home and abroad that basic income could build on the success of minimum wage policies and increases in child benefits by providing more consistent and predictable support in the context of today's dynamic labor market. Oh, it's dynamic, all right. The pilot would also test whether a basic income would provide a more efficient way of delivering income support, strengthen the attachment to the labor force. Strengthen? You're going to give money away for free, and it's going to strengthen the attachment to the labor force? Maybe Canada didn't hear J4's video the other day about the state, United States, I forget which state it was again, 12,000 something people, welfare handouts. Guys, in order to get those handouts starting the first of next month, you are going to have to at least volunteer, put a few hours in. We've got jobs here for you, maybe 6 hours a week. A week, you'll get those benefits. First of the month comes, how many people show up? 2,000 something. I was about to say 2,900. It was 2,000 something. 12,000 plus to just over 2,000 plus. They didn't want to work just a few hours. Didn't want to volunteer a little bit of their time. They wanted the free money. Who doesn't want free money? And they think this is a more efficient way of delivering income support, strengthen the attachment to the labor force, and achieve savings in other areas such as healthcare and housing supports. Or how about housing costs? Housing supports? Housing costs. Who wrote this? Ontario's budget statement. The government will work with communities, researchers, and other stakeholders in 2016 to determine... Okay, now I couldn't hold it any longer. Determine how best to implement a basic income pilot. And Zero Head says, right. So basically they have no idea how this is going to work or how to go about implementing it. But don't think that Ontario is alone. Finland plans to outline a basic income plan for its citizens later this year, while the Dutch city of Utrecht launched an experiment in January involving welfare recipients to see what effect a basic income would have, Huffington Post wrote late last month. And don't forget, the Swiss will vote in a referendum in June to decide whether to implement a basic income of some $3,200 per month. Wow, that's some basic income. We profiled the upcoming Swiss vote here. They post a link, noting that the plan could make the country the first in the world to pay off all... Oh, hold on, not pay off. To pay all of its citizens a monthly basic income, regardless if they work or not. I bet people are going to want to get out with both feet and run out and find a job after receiving this basic income. Now, somebody like me, my, I guess, work ethic, whatever, I would take that. Oh, we're all getting $3,200? Yeah, great. Rent's paid for, that bill's paid for, that bill, okay. I'm still working where I work. I'm still doing these YouTube videos, a little extra income with those ads. And I'm going to be working full time. I'm going to get my same salary. I'm going to keep pushing like I always do. My mind says, whatever my monthly income is, boy, it'd be nice to have another $3,200 on top of that. Doesn't mean I can stop working now. No, but maybe some of the full-time workers out there who have 2 jobs, even 3 jobs, could really benefit. Oh, you got 3 part-time jobs or 4 part-time jobs? Here's $3,200 for you. You could use it. And then somebody like that could say, you know what? I think I'm going to cut back a little bit on my work. 4 part-time jobs, maybe I'll cut it, see if I can find a full-time single full-time job, or cut back to 2 part-time jobs. Because this supplements, and I want to, can you imagine the different hours? And I got to wake up, I got to go to this job, come back home, then I got to spend an hour at home, then I go to that job. Now, it's insane. But then you have the people who don't do anything. Like I gave you the example, 12,000 of them, gave you the handouts. We just need you to volunteer a little bit, a few hours a week. I'm sorry, no one showed up. 2,000 people out of 12,000 before showed up. That's a massive, massive difference What, those other 10,000 people didn't need the money? You needed it before. Now you got to lift your elbow up a few times somewhere and you can't do that. Oh, no, I'm fine. I don't need the money anymore. Those people would be getting this $3,200 as well. So what would happen if everybody just started getting a basic income? And this example is great. $3,200 no matter what country you live in. Canada, United States, wherever. You're getting $3,200 every month. What do you think is going to happen to the price of things? What do you think is going to happen to the price of rent, which is already high? Well, now people can really afford it. Now I'll just jack the rates up a little higher because I keep having deadbeats running this property, and these damn deadbeats keep coming in and beating me out of the money, and I gotta pay. I still have a mortgage on it. I gotta pay it. Get someone there good for a few months, and they stop paying it. Damn it! And I gotta fix the house up, and damn it! Now I could raise that rate to $400 a month. And now the new deadbeats aren't necessarily going to be deadbeats because they're getting $3,200 a month. They'll finally be able to pay me my rent. But I'm still jacking the price up just in case. Everything there's an equilibrium that is always met. So it might start off good. Oh, $3,200, that helps supplement. But then you're going to find, like, once again, you would actually have a housing bubble worse than all other previous bubbles if you handed out $3,200 a month. Because the average person is easily going to tell themselves and easily rationalize, man, what kind of nice house could I get for $3,200 a month? A damn nice house, depending on where you live, but in most places you're going to get a freaking nice house, $3,200 a month. So the average welfare recipient who's been, in their mind, and some of it's true, been struggling all my life, and I've tried to hold down a job, and I've tried to do this, and I just can't win, and I've lived in these crappy neighborhoods, and my kids are hanging around these bad kids, and I just want to get out of here and go to a nice area, and I've got $3,200 a month coming in now. They're going to go to the next nicest, not the next, but a nicer neighborhood for sure. Get their kids out of that crap. You're going to have a huge demand for housing outside of Section 8 in crappy areas. So you're going to have a housing boom 3.0 that'll ultimately fail because if governments at that point have to stop, if they decide, well, this experiment didn't work, we're going to stop with the handouts, no more $3,200 a month, it would devastate everything. It would cause the greatest depression on the face of the earth that we've ever witnessed, which would mean they can't stop. Now that we've opened this Pandora's box, we can't stop giving people money now. So I don't see how you can experiment and see how that goes. But maybe the politicians have come to realize these bankers, they convinced us, these financial institutions, we had to do quantitative easing. The whole world did quantitative easing, and it didn't work. And we see it now, even though we're fudging the numbers to make it look good, and then 2 months later, revision, and a secondary double revision on the first revision, because it's worse than that on these numbers they give us. No one reports that, though. You don't hear that in the mainstream news. Oh, there's a revision today on the unemployment data from 2 months ago. You don't even hear it. It just comes out as a little clip, little newspaper filing. Here you go. So maybe the politicians have realized we're going to be freaking slaughtered. The banks made out, again, Jamie Dimon, billionaire, Lloyd Blankfein, billionaire. QE worked for them. So the politicians may say, we need to do this for the people now. And imagine they do it that way, and everyone's loving life. Man, this extra money, maybe the pricing housing and whatnot doesn't go crazy at first. It actually looks like it's working. Hey, this extra income is fantastic. It actually looks like it's working. And then all of a sudden, 2018 comes, almost 2 years from now, and as the Economist magazine said so in 1988 with their cover, get ready for a new world currency in 2018. And by chance, they need a new world currency in 2018. But all the governments say, look, people, we've been giving you this handout. It's been working great. It's just hard to manage, and we want to do this globally for other countries that haven't been doing this. We've got our system in place. It works. We want to help the globe do the same thing. So we need to join this new world currency, new world order. But you got your handouts, everything's good. And the average person might say, yeah, that's true. Life is a lot better for me right now. You know what? I'm okay with that. You bailed out the banks. We were pissed off at first. Now you're essentially bailing out us, which is what we wanted all along. Because the people always love handouts. So you know what? Yeah, we'll go with it. But, and this is a big but, nobody felt any financial pain. People don't like change unless there's a pain involved. And it's like, my arm's burning, I gotta make a change, and the change is step away from this fire. I don't want to move, I've been here my whole life. Okay, then let your arm burn. Yeah, second thought, let me get out of here. They gotta make us feel some pain. So I think these little experiments of, we're gonna come up with a basic income plan. These are just gonna be little blips here and there. The rest of the world ain't dealing with that. And you people, us people, in America, we are definitely not getting that. Maybe, again, after the financial pain sets in and the Congress is flipping out, they may change their mind. They may try something. They may go straight into the New World Order currency. We don't know. All we can do is sit back and wait. But find this interesting, because now, again, when you hand people a bunch of free money and people's income goes up, all prices around them also go up. It's automatic. It just happens. It's the same reason why someone making, $6,000 a year in, 1920 was doing pretty good for themselves, and someone making $6,000 a year today is absurd. It's also why a pack of gum was 5 cents, as our parents love to tell us, and now a pack of gum is $1 something at least, depending on which gum you get, right? So we call that inflation. And inflation will come roaring back automatically if people have a lot more money to spend. And $3,200 a month, and again, that was just a Swiss example, is a pretty sizable chunk to just hand somebody, on top of whatever else they've been making. So then imagine, like in my case, I refer to the Mexicans in Florida because there's a lot of Mexicans here that do the grunt work, if you will, and picking the strawberries and that sort of thing. And a lot of them are illegal, but they take their cash, they live together in housing, so they all split the bills. They're living like kings. They are living like kings. They have their EBT cards because they all qualify. And then they have their cash side jobs, or whatever jobs they do. So they've got mounds of cash on them at all times and their EBT cards. And when they go to the grocery store, they're not using their cash. They are using their EBT card. Why? Because it's free money that was given to them. And it can only be used on food. I'm not going to waste my own money on food. Groceries, I got the EBT card. The Mexicans figured this out immediately upon coming over here. And handled it. Handled business. They shacked up together. They live together. The men go out and work. The women stay home. They raise their kids. They cook for the men. It's like old school. That's all the women do, and the men go out and work. But if you're in one house, put it this way. Because the Mexicans really want to do it right. That $3,000 a month example I was talking about, you could buy a very, very big multi-bedroom house in Florida. 6-bedroom, very large, 8-bedroom possibly, depending on where. $3,000 a month all day. And you will be living in a nice area. Pretty much. Divide 3,000 by 5 people. 6 times 5, right? $600 a month for 5 people. $500 a month for 6 people. if you put 6 people in the house. It's a 6-bedroom, and maybe it's an 8-bedroom. Everybody's got their own bedroom. They got a big area, an entertainment room, right? Entertainment. We got a family room, got a living room, got a dining room. They're dancing around their sombreros. Fa la 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 la. Take care.